Okay. All right. Let's get this together. Okay. Okay. What's going on, family? What's going on? What is going on? Going live a little bit. Didn't even promote this, but it's all good. I'll just wait for a couple people to join in, and then we're going to get started. I know this is kind of early for me, right? So I'm going to be here with y'all for about an hour and a half, building with y'all a little bit. And then I'm going to go. So I just wanted to do an early session this week. And again, that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to try to do an early session during the week for y'all live, as well as our Freestyle Friday. Now, what day of the week it is going to be, it varies. You know what I'm saying? I got a pretty busy schedule, so it depends. But if I'm able to go live earlier, like now, sometime during the week, I will do that. So that way, those of you who are available early, I can get in touch with you. Oh, yes. Shout out to my brother John in the building. I got you, King. I got you. No doubt. No doubt. All right. All right. So give me a second, y'all. Let me, if y'all want, you can go ahead and share this link as well. Go ahead and share this link. I'm going to share it real quick, and then I'm going to get to you guys. So just give me a second. Y'all can help out by sharing it as well. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, family. All right, just give me a second. Give me a second. I got y'all. Let me make sure this is, everything is copacetic. Okay. All right, y'all hit one. Let me know if the audio and video is cool. Hit one if the audio video is cool. Just let me know. Right. Bryce, everything's cool. Hit one. Everything is cool. Hit one. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to get to y'all. I wanted to hurry up and go live, so I didn't get a chance to share the link anywhere. But with y'all help, y'all can get the word out for me too. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button when you come on in. So that way we could bring visibility of this live stream to anybody that gets on that has similar interest, and want to make sure that YouTube puts this link right in their feed. All right, we want them to come on in and check out this work with the rest of us. All right. Fun is no good if you do it alone. right? And to always have fun with the crowd. All right, hold on one second. All right, I put it where I could. All right, y'all saying everything's good. All right, cool. All right, so let us get it popping. All right, so let me give a couple of shout outs. Shout out to M. Kyles in the building, Melinda 1973, Shalom, One Love in the building, Iron Rose, New Hope Family Investments LLC, Arcadia Music Group, Ya Asan Tawa, Daughter of Zion, Priscilla Sharp, The Village Faction, what's going on? Lucky Lou, what's up? A long time I've been able to tune in on my way home from work, driving on the highway, but I seen it's on. I got to, oh, that's what's up, my brother. Shout out to you, my brother. Seek, but you can't hide in the building. Oshaya Red says shalom from Toronto, Canada. What's going on? Oshaya? Yeah, Pa, what's going on, sis? We missed you in LA. Hopefully next time we come out there, we can see you. All right. Shout out to my brother, Gathering of Israelite Nations, Netherlands. What's going on? Iron Rose says, I never got my calendar. You didn't? I apologize for that. Ian, I think it's Ian Rose. Email me right now and let me give it to you. And I'll make sure you have it. Just email it to me. Again, we don't have any physical calendars for this year. We wanted to do it, but it was too late in the game and production costs was not going to be worth it after it was so late in the game. So we don't have any physical calendars this year. However, we will have some for next year, but we still do have the PDF calendars if you're interested. So Ian Rose, I hope that's the one you're requesting. Okay. So Arcadian says, yo, quick suggestion, put some colored lights behind, makes background a little more interesting. Yes, I plan on getting a backdrop and having some lights come up from it, but that's going to take some time. There's other expenses that we have, so I'll have to wait on that. However, I will definitely take that approach. You want to see something cool? I do have colored lights here. Like, look, let me show you. See that? Hold on, let me show you. So this is like a red hue right here. Probably can't see it because I still have ambient light from outside. I could change it to green. I could change it to blue. I could change it to orange, yellow, green, another kind of teal blue, a kind of light purple. Then I have, it really starts off as a soft white like this right here. So I got these lights that I got here that you can do different colors on them, but it doesn't have the same effect as if it's behind me. So I agree. I definitely agree with that, John. So I'll probably consider that. See, I put it on full blast so you can see me even more clearly. All right. Shout out to Ice You Cole. What's going on, my brother Jordan's Cadet? Thank you for the donation, King. I appreciate that. All right, Priscilla Sharp. What's going on? Mr. Blacktastic in the building. What's going on? Foolish World 75, Strong Island, Keep It a Buck in the building. Damon Baziel, Just a Servant, Consuelo F. What's up? Minister Maccabi, and congrats to upcoming blessing. I appreciate that. Niana B, Greg, Jimmy Johnson, my brother Aki DB in the building. Shema, what's going on? Bruce Williams in the building. Slow Flow the God, my sister Lynette, aka the souls of our ancestors in the building. Ang Love Yah. Let me see. That's everybody. I think I covered everybody so far. My brother, yo, Yah, what's up? Son of Light, Shalom. What's going on? Sister Cheryl in the building. Shalom. Ara, Dara, Yah West, Yasher Carr in the building. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? C. Rochelle. What's up? All right. I think I got you. We got the heavy hitters in the building today. Tone Spain TV. What's going on? Myron Henderson. Being Wise. What's up? All right. Heavy hitters is out here tonight. What's going on? Roland Walker, I see you in the building. Yes, we're doing it early, but we have a time frame, okay? So my little ones will be home soon, so we got to get it in before they come and become the star of the show. And let me stop. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to hear nothing Divine got to say. You're going to see these cute faces and just get distracted. You know what I mean? So shout out to Shamante Stroman in the building. What's up? Y'all, what's up? Says, how do I get the Cage mixtape? Just email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. We have another mixtape coming up next year as well. So we have a calendar coming up next year, a mixtape coming up next year. new t-shirt designs, and a children's app. All right, we have all that stuff coming up next year. We're building out our team so we can get these projects on the go and make sure we meet all of our deadlines. All right. Shout out to Sister Ya'a Asan Tawa, daughter of Zion, for the donation. I appreciate that, sis. Thank you so much. All right. So Aki DB, yes, I'm gonna holla at Humble for y'all. Again, that's your friend too. So have him hit me up if you can, DB, so that way I can get him on the mixtape. I'll be bumping this song all the time, man. On Your Knees, that song is fire. Ill yucky. Wickedness is a disease. Ain't scared of nothing. Killing my demons with ease. Now, see, I can't play it because if I play it, they'll copyright strike me. You know what I'm saying? But that song is fire. That song is fire. Yes, the children's app is coming soon. I told y'all it's an educational app to get children back into the cultural historical perspective of children during the events that occur in the text and teaching them about various things about the culture, the environment, and everything else. So it's a great educational tool for the children. It's holistic. We're going to deal with math in there, science in there, engineering, all from an ancient perspective. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, really deep what we have in store. I can't give you all the specifics because somebody out there might try to bite. Because the things that we do over here at KHM, people bite it. They do. I don't have no problem with that. Flattery, I mean, imitation is the best form of flattery. I don't have no problem. But the things we pioneer, things we do, I mean, people jump on it all the time and try to take advantage of it, and it's all good. You know, it's all good. I mean, you know, I'm just a catalyst. You know what I'm saying? So whatever comes from that change is whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we have to also cater to the children. I want to make sure we have that also. So, you know, we're working on a service we're going to offer the community. It is a homeschooling academy service that's virtual, right? So I'm working with a couple of people in the I would say in the realm of academia in regards to K-12. And what we're trying to do is create a holistic learning experience from children from K-12. Like I said, my children go to a private school academy that is Israelite culturally centered, and then also gives them STEM and everything else on top of that. And then there's other ones like Saha Academy out in Norfolk, Virginia. And then there's another one out west in Cali. So what I'm trying to do is when we open up these chapters, we're going to get all of these educational minds together and create a service, a virtual homeschooling service that you can provide to your children ages K-12. Okay. That's going to take some time, right? But it's necessary. It's needed, right? Because if we can't reach the children, then we failed as a community. Okay, so that's definitely what we're doing it. Okay, Sensei David Pitt says, Shalom, is your Dallas chapter active? Yes and no. So Dallas chapter, we still have points of contact out there if you need to reach out to somebody from there. We went out there, we got the support that we need. We had enough people to start the organization, but then we was in a process preparing for every other chapter launch, right? However, after the last chapter launch that we're going to do, is it going to be Houston or is it going to be Raleigh, North Carolina? Whatever the last one is, in the beginning of December, once we knock that out, then we're going to go back and restructure everything. LA is active, DC is active, but Orlando and Dallas is semi-active. It's not fully active like that. However, I got my team now and I'm building out more people on the team so we can go back and get them active. And then next year, you know, our objective is to get 10 cities next year. We got a lot of suggestions. Some people said Indianapolis. Some people said Cincinnati, Ohio. Some people said Jackson. Some people gave us Phoenix. They want us to come out there. We are going to New York. We are going to Sacramento. Whatever the last chapter we launched this year, whether it's Raleigh or Houston, whatever one that we don't go to. So let's say we go to Houston and not Raleigh. Raleigh would be the first one on the list for next year. But we are going to New York. We are going to Chicago. We are going to whatever that other one is, whether Raleigh or Houston, whatever one we don't go to this year. And the other 6 and 7 will be up to y'all. You know, we got to see where the demand is at. And if the demand is there, we out there. You know what I'm saying? Those who have been following us on social media, you saw that we went out to LA this past weekend. Man, LA was popping, man. I'm going to tell you, LA was popping because any of y'all that came to LA the LA chapter event. Shout out to you. Yo, go in the chat. Tell people, how was it, man? You know, give us your honest critique. You know, we had a great time building, fellowshipping. I did the presentation. You know, we talked about a lot of things. I fed y'all. We made sure y'all ate, y'all drank, y'all had snacks and everything before y'all walked out. The environment that we had was very laid back. I don't know if y'all saw pictures of it yet. I don't think y'all did. But I got a video that I have, so you'll see it. But it was like more of like a lounge kind of situation. Like they had lounge chairs and seating. Think about like if you work for a well-known company like AT&T or Verizon or I don't know, some other kind of big company, and their lounge room, their break area lounge room, it was like that. It's just in the center, we had some chairs set up, but all around it, we had booths up, we had lounge seating. It was awesome, man. It was like, it was something totally different. And we wanted to do that because we wanted people to lounge, to relax and everything after we finish the presentation, so people can build and be in a more comfortable environment where they're not just sitting up in the chair, but they're able to walk around, build, go eat and stuff like that. We had a great time. When we come to the city, okay, when we come to the city, I'm telling you, LA was shut down. I was downtown LA at the Omni Hotel, smack in the middle of downtown. It was a ghost town in the evening, man. I was like, whoa. Remember, the last time I've been to LA was 4 years ago in 2016. And when I was there, I was like, wow, man. Even before we got there, we were trying to book venues and all of that. And it was like, oh, we can only accommodate 10 people. And I'm like, what? They're supposed to hold like 100 people. They cut it down to 10 people. We was getting so many issues. But shout out to my brother Jamal Sampson. Yo, Jamal, that is our director out there in LA. Shout out to my brother Jamal. He made it happen. He worked with my executive team, the Gillespies, and they got it done. I'm telling you, man, I got the best team. And we building out an even better team, man. We got so much in store, man. Like I said, get that app. You know, we was able to get a registration. We had almost 40 people in the building. And that place, I think that was the limit. There were people that wanted to come and they changed their mind or they couldn't get parking, whatever the case may be. So we would have had at least 50 people, but we would have to turn some people away because of the really big restrictions they had out there. But so many people came out and then people couldn't make it. Then the next day, we went up to go eat at Pez Cantina. Man, it was a great Mexican restaurant, man. They had great food. They even had a vegetarian, vegan menu. It was awesome, man. It was awesome, man. We had a great time out there, man. Great time. The only thing I don't like about these chapter launches is that I just don't have enough time out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just there for the weekend to get the job done and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But next time I go back, I'll have more time since things are in place and we can just chill, lounge, get to know, build, and all that other fun stuff, right? But right now is nation building time. Right now is community empowerment time. Okay. So this year you'll see that I didn't do a lot of lectures this year. Okay. Everything more so was on the live streams. I did a couple of things here and there. Like I finished up my series from El Shaddai, Yod He Wafev, El Elyon, three of a kind of one and the same. I finished that lecture up this year. And I don't think I did any other formal lectures. I did one on Sadnetta, but that one was just something I just threw together. But I didn't really do a real good lecture yet. And the reason why is because I've been working behind the scenes to get things done, to build out this organization, to create these chapters in various cities and actually organize and mobilize people to get the job done in the immediate community, to take our Israelite paradigm and translate it into a solution for the societal ills that we face in our community day to day, and bringing people to a more close-knit, society within our community, and also becoming autonomous or self-sufficiency. So I had to take time away from a lot of researching and reading and studying that I would normally do to kind of focus on building out the organization and nation building, you know what I'm saying? Putting stuff in place. Once we get the people that are committed, then we can go and do things like, get land. We can take over the politics of the community. We can initiate a new economic system like community currency that I mentioned before. We could do things such as provide employment through our services, provide homeschooling to parents who want to get homeschooling. That's from accredited institution that they can get access to. Such things as working with telling people how to do city building techniques, building houses or earthships, hemp houses or container houses on that raw unimproved land that we want to acquire. Being able to show people to do things such as barter and exchange as well. Giving classes on how to plant farms and vineyards. Like, this is the type of stuff we dealing with. I did a whole, I think it was like an impromptu session on Dante Fortson channel. Shout out to my brother Dante Fortson. And everybody loved that. I got so many inquiries from that I didn't know that many people wanted to really nation build. You know, people talk about it. Yeah, we nation building. I'm like, where? What you doing? And then sometimes people get misconstrued. They think this is all I'm doing. No, we out here in these streets, putting the hand to the plow, boots to the ground, getting this work done. So all the people, even the people that was baiting me for debates and conversations, like, bro, listen, my time is valuable. I'm really out here putting this work. Ask the people that came out to LA. Ask people that came out to DC, Orlando, Dallas. They know what it is. You feel what I'm saying? And my brothers that we have in North Carolina and New Orleans and New York, you know what I'm saying, and Detroit, when we was out there last year, they know what we about. They know what KHM is about. They know what we're trying to do in the community. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get people that really want to build. And I'm telling you, this past week was amazing. The amount of people that called in and said, yo, called us, emailed me, inboxed me, said, yo, I like that. The UN thing that I've been talking about since 2015. Listen, I've been saying this from 2015, how to infuse that International Decade for People of African Descent program with its resolutions contained, and have to infuse that into your organizational charter and add as beneficiaries and benefactors of that people who are members to that organization, file as a 508c1a, and then get to work. So if you do face any kind of adversity, you have an international community to appeal to. So it's like, you know, you're getting bullied, and then you're trying to get, you know, for the bully, another bully to kind of watch that bully that's bullying you. You got to play chess with this. It's strategic, what we're trying to do. All right. This is something that I know a lot of people dream about, talk about, but they're not doing it. KHM, we're doing it. So you have to forgive me if I'm not as active with the lectures and all the other things that I would like to expound and speak on. We will resume that in the wintertime, because in the wintertime, I'm not going to be traveling nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be locked down until after February 21st. All right. So in the wintertime, I'm going to get back into teaching and maybe doing a few lectures for y'all. So I'm going to do that. But the rest of this year, with the advent of COVID, you know, we did our GoFundMe. We raised almost $12,000 that we was able to use to feed families that was starving, and give people money to pay their bills and help people out with mortgage notes. Like, y'all seen it. We raised the money because our people were experiencing an economic depression because they couldn't go to work because of COVID. And we raised $12,000 to feed people, to take care of families. Okay. We even have our mother to mother clothing and supplies group on Facebook. So if one mother needed some supplies and another mother had it, we were able to take care of the shipping and get the items from this one parent to another parent. Okay. We did all of that during COVID. So we did that during COVID. We also launched our Dallas chapter, DC, and we just came back from LA chapter during COVID. So imagine if COVID wasn't here and we were extremely aggressive with our marketing and promotion. We would pack out the house, but we had to be responsible. When we did our Orlando thing, that was by invitation only. And we had maybe 40 people show up to that thing. And that was only invitation. That wasn't even with open marketing. Open marketing, we would have had over 100 people packed into that space that we had. It would have been ridiculous. But we had to be responsible, right? That was just a test drive, a pilot drive in Orlando. But now we see that people are serious about going to the next step. You know, we oblige people to get the job done. We oblige them. That's why we do these sessions. And if you wasn't there, we live streamed the LA session. We live streamed the session that we did in, Dallas, DC, and Orlando. Those sessions, all those sessions are up. You can go check it out to see the things that we spoke about and the initiatives that we want to put forth. Shout out to my sister Lynette, or the Souls of Our Ancestors, for the donation. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. All right. So I'm saying this to say that we want people that's really serious about getting this job done. We could do all the scholarship stuff, discussions, debating, lectures, and all of that. That stuff is fun. It's fun. But once you turn this computer off, you still got to deal with the side tools in your community. How you going to fix your credit? How you going to improve your health? How you going to acquire land? How you going to govern yourself? How you going to create manufacturing plants? How you going to put infrastructure in it? How you going to build houses? How you going to build a farm, garden? How you going to do these things? All of these things are ways to alleviate society ills in the community, and that's the best way that we can wake people up, is through our actions. Faith without works is dead. Tell me man that has faith alone, I'll show the man my faith by my works. That's how we moving. That's how we rolling. That's how we operating. We putting the works out there. Not only that, we went and we shout out to Elder Yosef of our DC chapter, got us in touch with his sister Katina Fields, who is been doing PR relations for 20 years. She is a celebrity PR agent, and now she's on board with KHM. I did a whole interview with her when we was in LA. If you're on a Patreon, that will be up tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna put it up tonight or tomorrow. Shout out to my brother Brandon T. Jackson of KOE Kingdom Over Everything. Me and him had a build. Those of you who are on Patreon, you can go check out that build right now. Everybody else, it will be on YouTube, but you're gonna have to wait a couple of days, right? A dynamic build, awesome build. Anybody that's on a Patreon can vouch for it. It was a great build that we had. All right. Also, I put up the interview I have with my brother Emmanuel from African Community Reports. I put that interview up. That's exclusively on Patreon. So if you're not part of our Patreon, go to www.patreon.com/DivineProspect. We have books on there, articles on there, news on there, cash giveaways. Everything's on the Patreon. Patreon is popping 24/7, 365. We even have language courses on there. We have everything on the Patreon. All right. Shout out to my brother Get Watch for the donation. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate that. Okay. So again, family, this is what it is. This is where we at. We have a lot of work to do. My schedule is extremely booked. Thank the Most High that I have an answering service, a customer care team that if you call us on 678-430-3832, that is our official hotline. You give us a call. Somebody will answer. You ain't got to wait for a voicemail. Somebody will answer. Get your information. Either they can address it with you on the call or they'll get it back over to me and I'll have a personalized chat with you. Doesn't matter if you support Patreon or not. I do my best to try to get to everybody. You feel what I'm saying? So again, that's what we're about right now. So this session, since we got about an hour left, I'm going to open it up in a second for Q&A. If you have any questions or answers, just want to give you some updates. So again, we're looking at either Houston or Raleigh. Y'all tell me, you'll have to blitzkrieg me with inboxes, emails, or calls saying we want you in Raleigh or we want you in Houston. Whoever does that the most is where we're going. And we have to make that decision by the end of this week because we plan to be out there 2 weeks from Friday. Okay, so we need y'all to blitzkrieg if you want us in your city. Or if we have another city, this is open for everybody. Inbox, on social media, email, or call. The information is up there on the screen. If you or have a city that you want us to come to, because I don't know how loud Raleigh and Houston is. I think they're kind of loud. But if there's another city out there that's louder than those two, we out here. We're going to go where the demand is at. We out here. All right. Again, we got one more city left this year. I put up a post in the community section, show you the pictures of our group photos. We have people coming out during COVID showing love because they want to build. That's how serious we know the people that come. We have good quality people on the same page. There's no fighting, no bickering, no arguing at none of these events. None. Because everybody understands the common denominator. And that is the type of behavior and attitude we want to continue to foster in the community. Yes, shout out to my brother Dale, man. I really wanted to see you, my brother, man. Really wanted to see you, my brother, but we'll be back in LA, man. Definitely. We'll be back in LA. Okay. All right. So let me see. I think that is it for now. I think that's it for now. But yes, go and check out our Patreon. Like I said, we have tons of stuff on there. If you need to reach us, you can email us, kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. Our contact number is up there, 678-430-3832. We're trying to gather all the footage for over the weekend so we can throw together a nice little trailer so you guys can see what you missed if you wasn't there. And in hopes that we get a demand in other cities so we can come and make a difference. All right, definitely. Okay. All right. So SOG Dre says come to Jersey. Yeah, I think he was the one that told me on Twitter to come to Camden, Jersey. We'll consider that. Definitely, man. Definitely. Sensei, yes, we do have a school from K to 12, an Israelite school from K to 12 out here in Atlanta. Yes, that's where I send my children to. All right. Okay. So Hebrew schools, New York City, I've been hosting for 3 years now, but need help now that I have a newborn. I don't know if there's any in New York City, sis. What I will do is see if I can schedule a call. So anybody out there that deals with K to 12 education, or any parents out there that's doing homeschooling, please email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com so we can put together our team, so we can help brothers and sisters that need assistance with virtual homeschooling. Okay. We want to do that. We want to take care of that so that way we can be engaging. We can have live teachers on the line to engage the students so that parents that have difficulties based on newborns, like the sister just said, or other issues, we can make sure we take care of educating the youth. All right. So please email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com or call us at 678-430-3832, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. All right. So just let me know. Truth Seeker. Yes, I am familiar with that. I definitely am familiar with that. All right. Sensei Pitt says he needs to move. I mean, if you in Dallas, my brother, you ain't got to go nowhere. We're trying to set up. We got a team on standby on Dallas that we're going to reactivate again soon. So if you're in Dallas, you're good. Any city we in, you good. Because any services that we offer, anything that we're doing in one city, it's going to be duplicated in every other city. They're just going to have their own personal, localized touch to it. All right. All right. So, anytime, my brother Truth Seeker, anytime Appointed Music, what's going on? He said, we need you back in VA. Yes, we're going to activate our Norfolk chapter as well. Shout out to my brother Dawid Akeem and my brother Eric that's out there as well. We're going to activate them and get KHM running up in Norfolk, Virginia. We got requests for Baltimore because we did have people from Baltimore come out to the DC. So we're going to set up in Baltimore as well. Again, we want to do Raleigh. We want to do Houston. And then next year, like I said, is open. However, the second half of next year, we do want to go to Johannesburg, South Africa. We have a team out there. We want to go to London, UK. We got a team out there. We want to go to Accra, Ghana. We got a team out there. We have contacts in Lagos, Nigeria. So we're going to go out there. Yah willing, we'll be able to travel internationally and get this work done, right? When people, and it's the thing, I understand why sometimes people are critical with giving donations because they want to see. It's interesting because I'm subscribed to a lot of channels on YouTube, and people donate to people that just talk. And I'm like, okay, I don't see them getting any heat for what are you doing with these donations? What are you doing with these donations? So when we come to your city, all the donations that people are giving, that pays for all of that, takes care of all of that. The food and the drinks that people get, how do you think that's taken care of? The donations that people are sacrificing that support this ministry is going to establish these chapters. Every time we go to a city, the donations that you guys give make it possible. The services that we afford to the community for free, y'all make it possible when you donate. So when you invest into the Patreon, you not only get immediate things back from the Patreon, but when we get to the city and do this real work, y'all can see the fruit of our labor. So we try to make sure that people can see what we're doing when we get donations, that we are allocating them responsibly to actually motivate people to get involved with the initiatives that we have so we can get the work done in the community. All right. So, I mean, that's just what it is. You're not just paying for somebody to sit here and just speak. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about getting into these streets, putting in this work, and all of this deep Israelite stuff that y'all talking about. We actually nation building with it. What you say is only as good as what you can build. That's it. I mean, those of you who subscribe to Yeshua, the Brit Hadashah, New Testament, Yeshua was a carpenter. Isaiah said the Most High is what? Is a potter. He does pottery. Takes us, mold us as a pot. So you got a pottery, and then you have a carpenter. That means the Most High takes raw material out the earth, makes things out of it. And then Yeshua comes along and starts building and construction things. And okay, let me map this out and put this foundation here, put these boards up and set this. So you want the potter and the carpenter. That's symbolic of putting in work. The potter creates things out of raw material on a potter's wheel, fires it, makes it into a vessel of pottery to fill things up. The carpenter builds things so that things can come and dwell within that which is built. Okay. All right. Shout out to my brother Jordan's Cadet for the donation. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate that. So Love Job Azor says, are you coming to Virginia? What part of Virginia are you in? What part of Virginia are you in? We were in Norfolk, so we're going to have a chapter there. And we may go to Richmond. Okay, we may go to Richmond next year. So you gotta let us know where in Virginia you're at. And if we get enough requests or demand, we will be there. Okay. All right. So with that being said, family, we got about an hour left. So if you have any questions or anything, I'll take them right now. Let's do it. Zeph, we already have Sacramento on the list, sis. We have Sacramento. We will be in Sacramento. One of the first things next year, we will be there. All right. Sis Lynette, yes, I know that. And Consuelo also conveyed that to me. I will not be able to go this year, unfortunately. However, I'm open anytime next year after the winter. I'm open. All right. Because that's important. All right. Deborah Newsom, so sorry, miss you in LA, had to work. I completely understand. Do not sweat it. I will be back out there. However, the team is out there. We have a team out there. So any city I was in, you may have missed me, and I'll be coming back soon. However, our team is out there. So if you're in Orlando, Dallas, Norfolk, DC, LA, and then whether Houston or Raleigh, we got a team we got people out there. We can activate at any time, get you in touch with them and get you involved in the stuff that we're doing. Unfortunately, a lot of things are regulated to virtual because of COVID, but soon we will be physical in these streets. Okay, definitely. All right. Sis, daughter of the Most High, Yah said, I just asked a question. I didn't see it, sis. So forgive me if I missed it because, I'm talking directly here. So I may miss some of the things that come up on the screen, but please react your question and I'll see what I can do. All right. Shout out to 3 Sounds in the building, says, Shalom, what is your position on vaccines? I'm not a big fan of vaccines. However, I do not tell people don't get vaccines. I'm not against it. I just believe that people should focus on naturopathic, holistic practices to fortify their body and only choose vaccines that are necessary. That's just my position. Okay. And I've talked about it. So what you want to do, 3 Sounds, is type in DivineProspect coronavirus, and you'll see some videos pop up where I talk about vaccines. All right. And what my position is on vaccines. All right. Shout out to Deborah Newsom for the donation. I truly appreciate that. Thanks so much. Truckin' Boog said, this is my first live. Shalom to you, my brother. Thank you so much for making your first live. I wish I had the hand clap to thank that brother for being in the building with us. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Again, I'm trying to catch the things that you're saying in here. You have a lot of stuff in here that y'all are asking right now. So Adaya, Yisrael, sis, Vegas is on our list of cities to go to next year. So fear not, we will be in them streets. And if you are on the same page of us, which I know you are because you are here, okay, you can definitely help out. Also, don't forget the app. Please, the app gives us all of the data we need to know where to make the moves that we need to go. Those of you who have the app may have received some push notifications over the weekend. All right, that's how we can communicate to you directly without texting, calling, emailing. We can hit you directly, do a push notification straight from the app. Just make sure you have push notifications on for the app. If you want to get the app, it's called My One Church app, and you can get that from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Type in My One Church app. I have it scrolling there across the screen. Once you download and install it, you're going to see a zip code field. You type in 30064, and then Kingdom Harbinger Ministry will show up. Click on that, and now you're locked in. You can create a profile if you want, or you can click on the groups to join one of our groups, or you can click on the events to see the events that we have going on, or at the left, at the top, there's 3 horizontal bars. You click on that, they give you the drop-down menu. Click on forms, click on membership details if you want to join our team, if you want to get on board. We have tons of roles available. Anybody that has any experience doing anything in the secular realm, we want it here in the ministry. So you may have other camps that might say, oh, you work in law enforcement. Other camps will say, oh, you was a lawyer. Other camps say, oh, you a politician. Other camps say, oh, you did this. So this camps, not all camps, some camps that will say that and make people feel uncomfortable about contributing to the body. And I say, come over here. Come over here. We got work for you over here. So while they're being selective, we really trying to nation build. You find me how you can nation build without security, without public safety. How can you do that? Show me. How can you nation build without understanding the legal apparatuses that comes from Torah and the implementation of those things without lawyers? How does that work? Tell me. Show me that. What was that? Okay. People who work in higher learning and professors, come over here. They may not want to use you. We want to use you over here. Come on over here. Whatever they don't want, we'll take it. We'll take it. That's it. That's how we get down. All right. So JD Israel says, Devon, do you think as Israelites, think us as Israelites are beginning to have too much infighting? Yes. And the reason why is because a lot of Israelites debate religious doctrine. If Israelites were able to say, okay, look, what are the common needs that all of our communities need? What are the things that all of our communities have in common that they need? If so, let's translate all this deep information into putting forth solutions, getting the consensus, voting on that consensus, and implementing it to create an environment so we can have more structured debates and discussions that are more edifying. But if we ain't got no infrastructure to show, you waking people up and got nothing to give to them after you wake them up. But yeah, we nation building now. Where? How you nation building? Where's your infrastructure? Do you have a GDP? Do you have security, safety? Do you have a manufacturing plant? Where's it at? You have a higher learning institution? Where they at? Oh, but you nation building. Where's your diplomats at? Huh? How you move politically and civically? Oh, okay, but you nation building. Oh, okay, I got you. All right, cool. Yeah. If you go back and check out the sit down I had with me and Brandon T. Jackson, that's what we talked about. Some people are just on the elementary level of this, man. Some of us have actually graduated and realized that we have work to do. That's why I always bring up Jeremiah chapter 29, verses 1-7. We have work to do in captivity, in exile. We have work to do. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 1-7. We have work to do in exile. If you keep in Torah, you should be enjoying the blessings. The blessings give you a buffer for you to become autonomous or set apart. So when Yah judges this nation, you're unaffected like Goshen in the book of Exodus. And then when the time comes after judgment is over, he pulls you right out. But you got to be prepped and ready. Are y'all doing that? Oh, no, y'all not doing that. Okay. I got it. Okay. All right. Cool. Shout out to my brother Myron Henderson says, Shalom, is there a video you've done on the past dealing with salvation? Yes, I've done several videos on salvation. I always give Isaiah chapter 52. That is the gospel. That is what Yeshua was preaching. If you go back and look to Yeshua, where Yeshua was talking about the gospel of the kingdom, that's the same thing Isaiah preached, Jeremiah preached, Ezekiel, they all preached the gospel of the kingdom. All those prophets preached the gospel of the kingdom. The restoration of Israel back to their former glory. That's the gospel. But before you can physically receive the benefits, you spiritually got to get your life together. How you spiritually get your life together? Circumcise the foreskin of your heart. If you want to know how to do that, I did a lecture, and the lecture is on circumcision. That is how you deal with salvation. Repentance. Yeshua, when he came on the scene, first thing he says, repent, for the kingdom of the Most High is at hand. It's near. It's coming. But you got to repent first in order to get in. This repentance requires 3 types of circumcision. That's deep. The name of the lecture is called A Cut Above. Go check that lecture out. It talks about circumcision. Circumcision happens 3 times. There's 3 types of circumcision. If you didn't know that, then you got to go ahead and check out that lecture. All right. So daughter of the Most High Yah says, should we as Israelites subscribe to the books of Enoch, Yasher, and Jubilee? Okay, so I've touched on this before in the past. I do not subscribe to the book of Yasher. It's too late, the version that we have today. So we cannot verify that it contains a lot of its original state. So I don't deal with the book of Yasher at all. It's too late in the game. I don't. Enoch and Jubilee was found amongst the Dead Sea Scrolls, which means it comes from an older oral tradition that was then written down during the time of the Hasmonean dynasty, when the Israelites had a form of autonomy, and then they can go back and start putting their oral traditions back into letter form or scroll form, because a lot of those things were burnt by the Greeks. Okay, so Enoch and Jubilees were 2 of those books found amongst the Dead Sea Scrolls, will go back to an earlier oral tradition. So that to me is semi-canonical. And the reason why I say this is because I've done an investigation on this. I've done research and I parsed out the things which have an older antiquity and things that are much later. I've given resources on that. All right. On the Patreon, we have books that go into the Dead Sea Scrolls and the works of Jubilees and Enoch. So I use portions of Enoch and Jubilee because it captures the oral traditions of the Israelites during that time period. Okay. However, it is not fully canonical. Okay. And this is from the consensus of any of the books that have been preserved. We know that these books have not been fully canonical. So I use that semi-canonical because it has data in it that is valuable and that does harmonize with the rest of what we call the canon. And then there's data in it that is a little bit off. And a lot of times that's because it's a late interpolation or a late addition. Does that mean it's bad, evil, good? No, that's not what it means. It just means it's a later addition. Okay, what I call the post-exilic addition. All right, you have some pre-exilic elements, then you have some post-exilic elements. I like to go back and reconstruct and restore the pre-exilic elements. All right. So yes, there's portions of Enoch and Jubilee that I subscribe to and portions that I say is much later. If you want works on that, books on that, just email me at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com or sign up for our Patreon and get access to our library where we have tons of books on the Dead Sea Scrolls that then cover Enoch and Jubilee. But no, I do not rock with Yasher at all. Anybody that wants to debate that, I'm open for that. Let's go. Shout out to my brother Amos for the donation. Thank you so much, my brother. I truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let me see what other questions are here. Slow Flow, the God, he put up the link for you guys. If you want to go and check out the lecture called A Cut Above. It talks about the 3 types of circumcision that need to be done in order for you to enter into the kingdom. That's deep, right? 3 circumcisions. Some of y'all only know about 1 and maybe 2. 3 circumcisions? Yeah, there's 3 circumcisions. Go check that out. All right. All right. So let me see what else. What other questions? C. Rochelle says, do you have a teaching on 144,000? No, I do not. I don't have a teaching on that. However, I do want to do a teaching on that. I do. So what I'm doing is when you email any kind of lecture suggestions, I put it in separate folders. So that way, when I settle down this winter, I can start deciding which lectures I want to start, getting together and start presenting for y'all. So if you're interested in that, C. Rochelle, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. So we have it in the email. I could file it. So when I get time to sit down and go back to my reading, research, studying, and kind of devising what are the next lectures I'm going to do, I can put that into consideration. All right. Okay, so Dejo says, what are your thoughts on the term Ion in the book of Revelation? Give me the verse. What verse we talking about? Because I break that down in regards to the book of Hebrews chapter 1, because that word is normally translated in book of Hebrews as universe, but universe comes from cosmon, right? Or cosmos, which would be your nominative masculine singular, cosmos. But cosmos, if we look at it, and ion are not always the same, does not always relate the same meaning. Ion really does like an age or period of time. Okay, so you got to give me what verse you're talking about, and maybe I can do a quick impromptu exegesis for you. Okay. Let me see. So Rain says, what's your take on a 12 tribes chart? Well, in the beginning, coming into this truth, I was definitely not a fan of the 12 tribes chart. However, I spoke to my brother Awanyesop from GOCC at the time, back in 2015. Early 2015, and brother Mala Ak from AOC. Me and brother Awanyesop at that time were really close, and we talked a lot. He said, what would it take to convince you of the 12 tribes talk to any validity? I said, look, if you could prove it extra biblically without the text, then you got me. They went and put together a documentary called The Espírito Mi Gente, and when they did that, it gave a lot of validity to some of the claims about the Israelites that were over here in America, right? So I don't focus on that lot as much. That's not where a lot of my heavy studies have gone. I do know enough about it, but not enough for me to sit and do an open teaching on it. I normally focus the lot that comes from West Africa to the Americas, right? So that's normally what my focus of study is. But what I say about the 12 tribe chart, I don't subscribe to the 12 tribe chart at all. However, I do think that there's some validity to Israelites being over here in Americas. There's some validity. Going into Haplogroup X and a whole bunch of other stuff, there's some validity. And when you go back and check out that documentary, The Espírito Mi Gente, they go into detail about that. They even talk to a professor at a university in Puerto Rico in regards to this matter. It's very, when they put that, lay that out, I was like, wow, this is deep. But I do not subscribe to the 12 tribe chart at all. I do not subscribe to it at all. That's my position on it. All right. This is, I mean, it's difficult to validate that. You know what I'm saying? It's very difficult. So I don't subscribe to that. Okay. So my brother Awan Yasap says, can I get access to the PowerPoint slides you've done on Matthew 28:19 in response to James White and vocab? Yes. Email me that request. Yawasap, if you are a Patreon, then you should already have access to it. Anybody that's a Patreon, you get access to all the PowerPoints. All right. As a Patreon member, that's one of the things that you're entitled to. Okay. So Yawasap, if you're part of Patreon, you should already have access to it. If not, you can inbox me on there. If not, just email me at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com and we can courtesy send it over to you. Okay. All right. Shout out to Eric Tinsley. Thank you so much for the blessings. I appreciate that. The Village Faction says, how do you spell the name of the documentary? Despierta mi gente. Spanish. There it is. It says YouTube rejected my comment when I typed it from my StreamYard interface. Very interesting. Don't know why that's going on. Let me type it again. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Just give me a second. All right, there it is. I was able to put it in the chat in YouTube. It's crazy. All right, so AkDB said, can you speak on the Feast of Dedication? Yes, I don't celebrate the Feast of Dedication. I only celebrate the Hagim in the Chumash, or the first 5 books, which would be your Pesach, or your Passover, your Feast of Unleavened Bread, your Feast of Weeks, your Feast of Trumpets, and Sukkot. Now, Yom Kippur, I don't keep that either, because I mean, I do as a memorial. I put it like that. But I keep those, but I don't do Purim and I don't do Feast of Dedication, only because it is not mandatory in the Torah, right? So you're not obliged to keep it. It's optional. And those who have ancestors that come from that time as a memorial of the rebellion against the Greeks, I mean, there's nothing wrong with keeping it if you want. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with keeping it. Read the books of 1st, 2nd Maccabees. There's also 3rd and 4th Maccabees as well. Read the books of Maccabees to get more details about the Feast of Dedication if you're interested in it. It's coming up. That's the next feast that's coming up. But I don't keep the Feast of Dedication because it is not a Torah sanctioned feast. Okay. But if you want to keep it, that's solely up to you. If you want more information on the background of that, go to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th Maccabees, or email me. I can send you a book on it. Or if you're part of the Patreon, you already get access to my book library. And I have a book that goes into detail about the Maccabean period and the Feast of Dedication. Okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, if you want to keep it as a memorial about how the ancestors banged on the Greeks, and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. All right. So Get Wise says, what are your thoughts on what will happen to the divine council on the day of judgment or the day of Yah? That is an excellent question. I don't know. I do not know. I don't. I mean, I could give some speculation, but I don't know. That's an excellent question. I don't know. And I think that's something interesting that I could look into a little bit further. But I don't know. However, I do know, based on other texts, that there are some entities that will face judgment. Matter of fact, let me show you something real quick in the book of Job. I'll bring it up. Hold on. Let me pull it up for you real quick. All right, let's go to Job chapter 15 and verse 15. Remember, the book of Job in Job chapter 38 also goes into the heavenly council, or the divine council that was there when the Most High was putting together the earth. So they existed, right? But let's check this out. I'm going to bring this up for y'all real quick so you can see this. Pull it up on my screen. Hold on. Let me, there we go. All right. So it says, behold, it says God. And as you can see, the ESV is a critical edition Bible, which means you're going to find footnotes. That's what the FN is there. Okay. So let me go hover over that for y'all so you can see what that is. And it says in Hebrew, it says he. So we go back to see what it reads in Hebrew, right? Here's your hen, beko dashu. That's his, what? Kodesh. You have the word Kodesh here, or Kadash is the root. Lo ya'amin. Yeah, so we don't see the word for God there, but we do see the pronoun for he there, right? It says, behold, God puts no trust in his holy ones, right? So we don't see that. Ve shamayim lo zaku, right? Or zaku be a 9. So what I want to focus on here when it says he puts no trust in his holy ones, right here, right? Be kodeshu, his holy ones. Lo, ya'amin. He puts no trust in his holy ones. And that re shamayim, lo zaku, be a or I. You have your zere and your yod. This is your diphthong, your I, 9. So he has no trust in his kodesh, his set apart ones, and that the heavens are not pure to him. So what does that mean when you say that there's no trust in the holy ones and that the heavens are not even pure in his sight? That means there's some judgment that has to happen to some entities there in the divine council. Verse 15, 16, it contrasts and compares that to how much less one who is an abominable and corrupt, which he's talking about those of us on the earth, a man who drinks injustice like water. Okay? Job says right above that, what is man that he can be pure, or he who is born of a woman that can be righteous? Behold, he puts no trust in his holy ones, and the heavens are not pure in his sight. Which means if even in the heavenly realm where he resides, that those entities that up there, he don't trust some of these holy ones, and that area is not pure in his sight, that means some type of judgment has to come upon the divine council. What does that exactly entail? I don't know. If you want to include the watchers are not part of the heavenly council. The watchers are right underneath the heavenly council. So they're the ones that like live on these mountaintops that then report the things that they observe to those that are in the divine council. So they're like the intermediary entities. And we see, the oral tradition on that laid out in the book of Enoch, right? But there's some kind of judgment that will happen to some entities that are there in the residence of where where the Most High is at. Okay, so that's important if you want to look further into that. I think that's a good way to start. All right. Shout out to Mr. The Original School. Greetings to you as well, my brother. All right. Let me see what else is going on. So GMS Faithful Till Death says that's not what that mean, bro. Angels do the will of the Lord. Okay, so there are messengers that do work on behalf of Yod He Wafe. Please exegete Job chapter 15, verse 15 for us, my brother. Please exegete that. All right, feel free to exegete that for us. Now, what I'm going to do is show you how the holy ones are connected to the watchers. That's in the book of Daniel. I'll bring it out for you real quick. All right. All right, if we go to Daniel chapter 4, verse 17, let me pull it up. If you want, my brother, we can go into a little further. If you want to go into the Hebrew to see if the words line up. All right, so Daniel chapter 4, let me bring it up. Verse 17. Now, if you're going to tell me that the holy ones, where it says he puts no trust in his holy ones, if you go elsewhere in the book of Job, who are the holy ones? And just within the book of Job, right? If we go here, Daniel chapter 4, verse 17, and we go into detail into that, it says the sentence is by the decree of the watchers, the decision by the word of the holy ones, to the end that the living may know that the Most High rules the kingdom of men and gives it to whom he will and sets over it the lowliest of men. Watchers, holy ones. We also saw the holy ones in the book of Job. So now you have to distinguish between the divine council, the watchers, the holy ones, and the Melachim, the messengers. And then you also have your seraphim, You had the seraphim too. The Most High sent the seraphim to bite the children of Israel in the wilderness. And then he had to lift up the bronze or the nakash, that bronze serpent, they say, statuette kind of not entity, but some kind of image, so that those who looked upon it will be saved, and the seraphim, the fiery ones, will not bite them anymore or attack them anymore. Okay? So if you want to exegete that, my brother, you definitely are open to do that. So exegete Job chapter 15, verse 15 for us, if you don't mind. All right, you could definitely do that. Now you quoted from Ecclesiastes 16:28. None of them hindereth another, and they shall never disobey his word. Now, go to the verses right above that and tell us who's the nominative or who's the subject of that, or what's being talked about. Okay? When it says none of them, show us what that is. All right. Also, go into the Greek as well for Ecclesiasticus and see what that word is there in the Greek. All right. Break that down for us, my brother. All right. Anytime the Village Faction, if you want a copy of that or get access to it, just email me and I'll see what I can do. Okay. Shout out to my brother M. Kyle's in the building. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. All right. Shalom to my brother Joseph Donald in the building. What's going on? Truckin' Boo says, I have a great question. All right. Ask it again, my brother. I'm looking at the screen. Okay. Ask it again. All right. Yes, sis. That's what I was talking about. So those watchers are holy ones that made a pact that we find in the book of Enoch. Those are the ones who are held for judgment. Azazel and all his company of 200. All right. We get that extracted from the book of Enoch, but it's also validated in the book of Jude, and is also mentioned in the book of Peter. It talks about both of those. Both of those books talk about that. All right. Or elaborate on that oral tradition. All right. So C. Rochelle says, sorry, I may have missed this, but is there a study available already available concerning the hierarchy of angels, seraphim, cherubim, watchers, etc.? I don't have a formal study on that. I was going to do a lecture on angelology, and demonology. That's one of the things I want to do as one of my next lectures, where I will touch on that. However, I do have some resources on that. So if you're interested in that, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. and I'll send you some of those resources over. Or if you sign up for the Patreon, those books are already available on there. All right. We have tons of books on that. All right. Shout out to the daughter of the Most High Yah says, have you completed a lecture on the new moon and where I can find it? Yes, I talk about the new moon when I talk about the calendar. Okay. I've done several videos on that. Daughter of the Most High Yah. Anybody that's in here that's one of my mods, admins, or my day ones, please post the link for the playlist where I talk about the calendar. All right, post it in the chat so the sister can take a look at it. Okay. All right. Shout out to We Woke Now in the building, Pastor Kelly Richardson. Shalom King, what's going on, Elder? All right. Jonas Cadet says, what are your thoughts on divinely inspired being used to justify omissions and biases? When you say divine, you mean divinely inspired people? Elaborate that a little bit more on that, my brother Jordan's Cadet. All right. Yahuda Ben Lewi says, is the Ruach HaKodesh a feminine attribute of Yah? And is the Ruach wisdom, Chokmah, or is wisdom just an attribute of the Spirit? That's an excellent question. I actually touch on that in several lectures. One of the lectures is a closed mouth don't get pled. Anybody can throw that in the chat. A closed mouth don't get pled. And you can check that out where I elaborate on that. Also, I spoke about that on my last lecture that I did on Sa Netta, and that one was about male chauvinism and how the pre-exilic model addresses male chauvinism. One of my mods can also throw that video in the chat, and Yehuda Ben Lewi, check that out because I touch on it in there as well. Okay. All right. So Ner Yahu Yasharal Oril, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, the way it's spelled, throwing me off. Says thoughts on the absence of the tribe of Dan. So a lot of people believe that the tribe of Dan went the way of idols, right? And that they were not going to be fully reconciled. When we look at it in the book of Revelation, there's a lot of speculation on that. Nothing's definitive. So all you're going to hear is speculation on that. But being that they wait the way of idols and that they have wholly disconnected themselves from their inheritance and have mingled out the bloodline, this is what some people say. However, the tribe of Dan lineage can be found amongst the Beta Israel in Ethiopia. Those Jews claim inheritance back to the tribe of Dan. All right. Also, the Dangambe peoples believe that they also have Gad and Dan that they derive from as well. So when you get to that in the book of Revelation, it's kind of sketchy. The book of Revelation is the least attested manuscript of the New Testament. It was even considered dubious by Eusebius and a couple other church fathers as well. So I don't put a lot of stock in it in regards to that. However, there was a particular perspective that the tribe of Dan went the way of idols and they were unreconcilable. And that's why they have not been counted in regards to the end times reconciliation. Right. So there's speculations on that and different perspectives on that. But I'm not fully convinced that the tribe of Dan has been fully disconnected. I believe the tribe of Dan will be reconciled back to the Most High, and then they will enter into New Jerusalem. All right. Daughter of the Most High, you asked me that question about the new moon. The brother, Slow Flow to God, he put the link for the playlist in the chat. Click on that link. Check out our series on the calendar, and we do touch on the moon and what our position is on the new moon. Okay. All right. Shout out to my brother Slow Flow to God. He's quick just throwing out these links out there, man. Just throwing them out, All right. So Sister Lynette, you already know how I feel about that. I'm not with that. I'm not with that. Whoever is trying to build his third temple without the intervention of Yah and the king he's going to set in the high priest, because he's going to join both the office of the high priest and the king, as we see in the book of Zechariah in the end times. If that individual is not involved in building his temple, then whatever's being built is a deception. So the Ashkenazim using a lemba, I think obviously is a form of deception, and I'm not with that at all. All right. So near Yahoo, yes, I've heard that claim as well about the Mende. I've heard that claim as well. All right. So Jordan Cadet says the concept of divine inspiration is used to justify omission and biases in regards to the text, what is biblical and what is not. I agree, because some translators, old translators, have used that argument. However, being that when you learn the language and you're able to look at the manuscripts for yourself, you don't have to use that angle of divine inspiration to justify omissions. You can simply see it through transmission. You can see it through textual variants. You can see it through interpolations and understand what is the approach when you find a long version of a verse and a shorter version, and then places where the verse is there and the verse is not there. That would be your omission. Interpolation is, you see in these early manuscripts, it reads like this, and in later manuscripts, it reads like this, and it has an extra line. That's your interpolations. But then you have your textual variants as well, which could seem like omissions and, additions, but it just depends on how you look at it from a textual criticism perspective. You just have to look at it case by case, verse by verse. All right. So that's an excellent question you just asked right there. All right. Again, fam, hit the thumbs up. We got about 15 minutes left, and I'm out here. 15 minutes left. There's a lot of questions that y'all leaving. Man, y'all don't waste no time. So Yahweh Stop Son of Light says, any good resources or advice for dealing with Tanakh only Israelites who deny Christ? Yes. Yes, the best way to reach those individuals who now it depends on what they deny. Do they deny his historicity? If they deny his historicity, that's different. If somebody says the Flavian family dynasty created the New Testament, that's garbage. If they say that he didn't exist as a real person, that's garbage. Academia doesn't even argue that no more. And people who do say that are pseudo. According to academia, they're just pseudo. I mean, we have enough contemporary and not much further later evidence to prove his existence. So his historicity, Yeshua Bar Yosef was a historical person that lived. He taught, he had a ministry, he had a following, and he was killed. Historically, we can validate all of that. All right. Now, the things that he said in particular, that's different. That's vox versus verba, the voice versus the actual words that he says. How is it contained in the text that we have? Y'all know that my go-to synoptic gospel is the book of Matthew. That's the one that I put all my lots in. And it's the reconstructed version of the book of Matthew. right? Based on what would have been in the hands of the Ebionites and Nazarenes during the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd century, okay? The ones who put Jerome onto game and showed him the book. He saw, this their version. And Jerome says, we don't know who translated the Greek version. You know, the early church fathers, the ante-Nicene church fathers, the ones that could read Hebrew, like Epiphanes, Origen, Jerome, and them, they saw this book and they said, yo, that's the truth right there. That's the truth. And we may not agree with some of their teachings, but that book they have, we from our tradition, from what we know, that Matthew did write a version in the Aramaic using Hebrew characters in Aramaic. He laid it down, and then it was picked up in the Syriac version that we get in the realm of Antioch, when Syriac became the Middle Aramaic dialect that was in usage for liturgical purposes as it pertains to the New Testament during that time period. All right. So when you're dealing with Tanakh only Israelites, you have to see what category they fall in. And the best way to reach them is having a great understanding of the Tanakh, the intertestamental period, the oral tradition that's laid down in the Mishnah and Gemara, as well as what's left behind in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and then reading books that deal with the Targums and the Aramaic of what Yeshua would have been referencing. Stay away from the Greek, stay away from the Septuagint, because they feel a way about that. Just deal with the Targums, deal with the Aramaic and Hebrew Tanakh. Understand Yeshua's teaching. So let me give you a good book. What's up? Since you brought that up, that I shared this already. All right, I shared this already. Shout out to my sister Lynette, says, when will the Bible study begin? How can I help? Thank you so much, sis. If you want to help, please go to the app, go to the administrators staff group in the app, fill out your information in there, leave a comment, says, I want to help with the Bible study. And we definitely will bring you on board, because this is going to be powerful when we get it laid down. All right. Thank you for the donation as well, sis. So let me help you with that. All right. I'm what's called a historical messianic. That's what they would call me. What does that mean? I believe in the historicity of Yeshua Bar Yosef, the ministry that he laid behind, the following that he had, and the death that he suffered, the resurrection part, physical or spiritual. That's an open conversation, and I can explain to you why my position on that. However, in some form, he appeared back to his disciples, which encouraged and empowered them to go forth with his message, even unto the point of death. And his job when he came here is to align the people back unto the old waypoints of Torah. That's what he brought them back. However, he had to do midrash of the Torah to bring out the weightier matters of the law that was being lost in all the legalism, and use that as a stepping stone to get the people back on the right path of Yah, and how to execute that within a captive state, or being under in captivity. But here's the book that I would say that several books you read. One of the books I showed him before is Was the New Testament Really Written in Greek? That book is available on a Patreon, or you can email me about that and I can get it to you. You have to have that book. The other one deals with the Targums and the New Testament. Let me show that to you. All right. The other one deals with Halakha in the New Testament. Once you understand the Targums, you understand what Halakha is, and you understand the Aramaisms and the Semitic idioms and the syntax structure that we even find in the Greek that resorts back to an Aramaic origin of some form. That is how you reach them. You cannot reach them from the Judeo-Christian lens. You cannot reach them from the Greek lens, because they're just not going to accept that. You have to go back into the cultural state of the Targums, the Tanakh, the intertestamental period, the oral traditions laid down in the Mishnah and Gemara, which is compiled in the Talmud. If some of them subscribe to that, some of them may not. The Dead Sea Scrolls had a form of messianism that is similar to what is taught in the Brit Hadashah, yet they did not subscribe to Yeshua. They just came to certain conclusions that we see fulfilled in the Brit Hadashah. Very interesting. But let me show you these books real quick, these sources. Check them out. And I shared these before, but I'll give it back to you, so that way if you're interested, email me, I'll get them to you. Or if you join our Patreon, all these books are on the Patreon. www.patreon.com/DivineProspect. Everything's on a Patreon. All right. Check this out. All right. Let me show you this book real quick, and I'm going to take 2 more questions and I'm out of here. Okay. Because I got 19 minutes at most. All right. Here's the first book. It's called Targum and Testament Revisited, Aramaic Paraphrases of the Hebrew Bible. All right. This book is excellent because it gives you the history of the Targums and show you how that connects with the New Testament. In regards to God and creation, the Holy Spirit, reverential manner of speaking of God, Father in heaven, sin and virtue, eschatology, the Targums and the Johannine literature. That means the books of John and the Johannine community, the people who were the successors of Yachanan or John, and other passage and concluding remarks. But first, it gives you a foundation of the Targumic tradition and then relates that to what we find in the New Testament. You need this book because I always try to get people into the historicity, the culture, the customs, and the language. If you don't understand the New Testament from this angle, you cannot successfully relate to somebody who rejects it, because in their mind, it's all Greek. It's all fake. It's all fabricated. When you take this angle, they can't say that no more. It's like, oh, okay. They catch them off guard. They never dealt with that before. And it forces them to consider some things. All right. And again, I don't proselytize this. I just simply try to be a bridge. That's it. And I try to do it objectively as much as possible. Let me give you the other book. All right. Here's the other book. All right. This book was the New Testament really written in Greek? A concise compendium of the many internal and external evidences of Aramaic Peshitta primacy. Oh, y'all probably can't see the screen on that. Oh, man. Let me show it up. I'm glad I caught that. All right. Here it is. First one is this. Oh, not this one. Well, this one will be up on the Patreon soon. This is the excellent book right here. I love this book, Historical and Biblical Israel, The History, Tradition, and Archives of Israel and Judah by Reinhard G. Kratz. That will be up tonight on the Patreon, all right? The other book Was the New Testament Really Written in Greek? Was the New Testament really written in Greek? The other one I was just talking about was Targum and Testament Revisited, Aramaic paraphrases of the Hebrew Bible. The other one deals with Holocaust. Let me show you that one. And I've done lectures on Holocaust and everything. All right. Here's the other one. Well, actually, two more books. Actually, three more books. I have tons of books on this. Another one here. Never mind the image. I know this is a bunch of garbage. Ignore the image and just focus on the information inside. I hate showing this book because this image makes me sick. But nevertheless, the Gospel of Matthew and Judaic traditions. You need this book to get yourself back into the custom, culture, language, and history, the contemporary history during 1st century CE Palestine, in order for you to better convey the historicity of Yeshua in his context to the people during that time. He in no way, shape, or form was against the Tanakh or the Torah. But if you read it from a Christian lens of the Greek New Testament, then it's going to look like that. Then it asks Christians, did he fulfill the law perfectly? They say yes. I say, if so, then how is he breaking the laws? How is he going against the laws if he's fulfilling them? It makes absolutely no sense. All right. Here's another book right here. It's called Jesus and the Sabbath. Oh, why does this screen keep dropping? What's going on? There it is. Jesus and the Sabbath in Matthew's Gospel by Yang Yi Yang. The Gospel of Matthew and Judaic traditions. Was the New Testament really written in Greek? The other one, Targum and Testament Revisited, Aramaic paraphrases of the Hebrew Bible. And there's one more. I can't seem to find it. Where is it at? Where is it at? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. I'll grab it for y'all real quick. Hold on so y'all can see it. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Give me 1 second. And then from here, I'm going to jump on another question, one last question, and I'm out. The other book, let me get it for y'all. I'm actually going to my Patreon folder, which, again, you can get access to if you have Patreon. All right. The other one is... let me find it. Hold on. Let me find it. The other one is, here we go. I got it right here. This one is extremely valuable. All right. Take your time, read these books, get culturally reoriented. So that way you can teach Yeshua from a 1st century CE Palestinian perspective with Aramaic and Hebrew as principal languages. You deal with the text of the time, the Targums, which would have been the common thing that folks would have known. Unless they were bilingual, then they would have been using a Septuagint, because the Hebrew at that time was in liturgical form, and mostly only the scribes, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the priests were able to read the Hebrew. However, the Targums are paraphrases of the Hebrew Tanakh, so that way the common tongue, which was Aramaic, could be understood by the people. All right. So the other book right here is The Holocaust of Jesus of Nazareth according to the Gospel of Matthew by Philip Segal. Get these books, right? Jesus and the Sabbath in Matthew's Gospel, the Gospel of Matthew and Judaic traditions. Was the New Testament really written in Greek? And if you get these sources in the Targum, you'll be able to give a better case for Yeshua than what Christianity gives today. What Christianity gives today, to me, is weak. All right, that's my perspective. Okay. All right. So let me see. I'm gonna take one more question. Yes, definitely. See, Rochelle, should we first read Old Testament before jumping into Apocryphal and extra biblical material? Yes. Read it, familiarize yourself with it. However, culture and language is key. So let me give you some books to help you to understand culture and language as you're reading it, so you can be properly reoriented and understand it from a position outside the scope of Judeo-Christian lens. Okay? Let me give that to you. Right? So here's some books. Let me pull it up. And I got to end off with this. One of them is the Cultural Studies Background. Let me show it to y'all. I recommend this all the time. You can get this through Kindle, or you can order it from Amazon. You want to get the Cultural Background Study Bible. All right. The other one, let me get it for you before we get up out of here. The other one is this book here called Bedouin Culture in the Bible. So I know you mentioned extra biblical, but however, I would read this alongside the scriptures because it gives you insight into the culture and elements of the language as well. All right. Here's another book that I recommend. Right. It's this book here. It's called Behind the Scenes of the Old Testament, Cultural, Social, and Historical Context. Excellent, excellent book that I recommend everybody to have as you're reading the Old Testament. So make sure you have the Cultural Background Study Bible and have Behind the Scenes of the Old Testament. Okay, this is extremely important. All right. Another good book, which is decent, is The World Around the New Testament. This book right here. Again, on our Patreon, you get access to all of these books. Otherwise, you have to email it to me directly, and I can give you whatever the request is. All right. But we load these books all the time. Now, when we do our Bible studies, we're going to grab any verse, show you the methodology behind properly exegeting or giving midrash, using all the tools, language tools, cultural and custom tools, historical tools, tools dealing with archaeology, looking at living cultures that still have biblical practices. Hence why I tell you about Bedouin culture in the Bible. All of these things. Okay. All of these things. All right. Virtue says, when do you think the 1,000-year period in Revelation 20 took place? To me, it hasn't taken place yet. When that's going to happen, I do not know. I do not know. All right. Thank you to my sister Lynette. She said you can get access to all these books when you join the Patreon. All right. Yahuda Ben Levi said, how do we access the books on Patreon? Just sign up for the Patreon. Once you sign up, go to the homepage, and there's going to be tags. Look for the tags that says book suggestions. Click on that tag and you get access to all the books. You'll get a preview of those books and the link to access the entire library. All right. Thank you, Sister Jill. She says 167 watching, only 90 likes. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button so more people can get access and information, because we're giving this free game out to the community at large. Free game. You don't even have to sign up for the Patreon to get it. I'm giving you all the references. However, the Patreon just makes it more convenient, more easily accessible. So we just throw these things out to the community to educate y'all, give you the tools, the resources. Also on the Patreon, we have language courses, Biblical Hebrew Essentials and Biblical Greek Essentials. We also have Syriac on there. We added Ugaritic on there. Then we actually added functional Biblical Hebrew and functional Biblical Greek on there. The Patreon gives you access to all these tools along the language, the culture, get these books, resources, articles, cash giveaways. Patreon is where it's at. All right. Ice Cole said the Patreon is clutch. It definitely is. All right. Amos says, how much is Patreon to get all the books? You can pledge $10 minimum and get access to all the books, or even $5 minimum, get access. However, if you do the $20, you get access to the Biblical Hebrew and Biblical Greek Essentials, where you can actually get a layman's course with little to no knowledge on language, layman's course that give you enough about the Greek, the Hebrew, the grammar, the syntax, word study, so you can make your way through interlinear Bibles, which I recommend to get to learn the language, and lexicons. Interlinear Bibles and lexicons. It teaches you how to use these tools to give you more in-depth insight into your Bible studies, but we will teach that once we start our Biblical Hebrew course. Our KHM Holistic Research Paradigm for Bible Study class. That's coming up soon. As soon as the flyer is out, it's official, and you guys can join in, all right? Don't forget the app. It's right there across the screen. Don't forget the Patreon. If you need anything from us, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. We got you. Okay, if you have any other questions, concerns, email it to us. Let's take care of that. Or give us a call Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 678-430-3832. If you want us in your city, email us. Flood us with emails, inbox, and calls. If you want us in your city, we got one more city to do at the end of this year, so we can galvanize the people and take this Israelite paradigm of information and culture and put it to real world use to solve ills in our community. Okay. All right. So Blackwood, I would say just enough for self-sustainability. Any surplus, we don't need it. Enough so we can feed our brother and our sister, take care of our brother and sister. And so that way we have all things in common. That's why I said surplus should go to those who don't have. Those who have should not have surplus, because there's always somebody that have need. Yeshua says the poor is always with you. Torah teaches you to take care of the poor. Any surplus you have should be in the belly of your brother and sister. Should be in the pocket of your brother and sister. We should be so autonomous that we get to that point that we can put the surplus in the stomachs and the pockets of our brothers and sisters who have a need. All right? All right. Yes, you always do, sis, and I truly appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you to everybody for your donations. Everybody hit the thumbs up. Everybody that shared this video. Everybody that's our day ones. Everybody that prayed for this ministry. Everybody that showed up at our chapter launches. I thank all of y'all. Y'all are the VIPs. You make us who we are. We're going to grow and expand. That's why I always like to give shout outs when we get online. So when we continue to blow up, that the people will know who were the ones that were the foundational, I would say foundational investors into our ministry that helped us get to what we're trying to achieve. And we want to help you guys be just as great and as powerful and tap into whatever potential you possess, because we all got something to contribute to building our community. All right. So thank you for watching. I love you all. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for our Freestyle Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on this channel. If you're brand new, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, click all, and jump into all the archives. Binge watch it as much as possible and get up to speed. And when we do the classes and you jump on a Patreon, you get the tools and the know-how approach to be able to get more in-depth into your Bible studies. All right. Thank you, family, for watching. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Peace and shalom.